Hello and welcome to episode 70 of the Club Lorcana podcast. I am a friend of the podcast, Ryan Walker. Here with me is...
Hi, everybody. It's me, Mox Jeremy. I'm here. Zan could not make it today. He had a complication that But anyway, he just got back from Singapore. He's not going to be in this episode. He will be back next week. Don't worry at all about that. And we also have, as always, Nathan Tripp.
Hey guys, excited to be back. Just landed yesterday from Singapore.
And Nathan is back from Singapore, so we are going to talk about his trip from Singapore. We're going to talk about the metagame and upcoming events, and we're going to talk about Ryan and I have been spending a lot of time next to each other. But first, I want to talk about the Pro Play Games Summit coming to Orlando December 11th through 14th, maybe 12th through 14th. I'm going to be there on the 11th. Yep, there we go. We have it. This is a $65,000 combined prize pool weekend across all games, including Disney Lorcana, Riftbound, and Cookie Run Bravers. This is brought to you by Player's Choice Game Accessories. For Lorcana, I want to talk about the 10K on Saturday. Cash prizing. So that's really good. In a world where I think there's more uncertainty than ever that these promos are going to be able to convert, cash prizing is really nice. And there's going to be a 5K on Sunday. That's Infinity. So good high-stakes Infinity opportunity for somebody. I think that's a format that's ripe to be broken. I'm going to talk a little bit about Cookie Run Bravers because I'm starting to become known as like the Cookie Run guy. But we have the first tournament, the first North American Championship Cup. First place gets a trophy, a Championship Cup promotional card, a big playmat, 8 booster boxes of the new set, and most importantly, flight and hotel to Worlds in Seoul, South Korea, with a 2025 Champion Cup promo up for grabs. Disney Lorcana, Riftbound, and Cookie Run all weekend. It's going to be on stream. There's still some tickets, but there won't be for long, so make sure you go ahead and grab them. That is the sponsor segment. Nathan, you are back from Singapore. Talk to us about your trip. Talk to us first about best of one. Impressions, good or bad. Tell us about your tournament. What's up with you, dog?
Yeah, so we just got in yesterday. Won't lie, it was some pretty brutal travel.
How long's the flight?
So on our way there, we did Atlanta to Paris. So that was like an 8-hour flight. And then Paris to Singapore was 12-hour flight. 2-hour layovers. So you're looking at like 24 hours of travel. So that was pretty brutal. And on the way back, it was very similar, but we went through Amsterdam instead. So it was like 8 hours and then 12 hours from there. So luckily on the way there, we did the hard work for the jet lag. I think that's like one of the biggest things. We were getting there on Friday, which I thought it was actually Thursday, but we skipped a day. We skipped Thanksgiving. While in transit, which was a big deal. Definitely be paying for that in the future with the wife in terms of like trips and whatnot.
I have a soundboard. I just press the like woof 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 dog house. Like,
You got to make like turkey next year, ham, all of those not real because you don't need any.
Yeah, being vegan makes it a little bit harder to go all out. Have some more vegetables.
anyway, so you did. What do you mean when you did the hard work for jet lag?
Okay, so on our flight there, we got a red eye, which was actually clutch but really hard. So we were leaving around 8:30, but we can't sleep because of the time changes. It's a 13-hour difference. So what we need to do is we need to stay up on this first flight, don't sleep, and then sleep on the second flight, which would be nighttime in Singapore, and then we can just roll straight in.
That was the plan.
This plan worked perfectly, actually. So Zan and I, this is the only flight that we actually had seats next to each other, which was really big. And so we hung out, we played some TFT. That was the last part of the latest set. And so that helped us burn like a ton of time. His phone wasn't working, so we just both played on mine.
Oh yeah, new TFT drops today.
Yeah. I'm probably going to play maybe some later tonight or tomorrow. But so that was perfect. We get there, we sleep on that second flight, we knock out. I didn't have to be next to Zan in a seat. So he was like, yeah, I'm going to be back there. So I'll be, and he said he knocked out immediately. And then I was able to knock out, though I've learned a lesson. Traveling on long flights, I cannot do any more aisle seats. Why?
Big broad shoulder guy, you.
I got shoulder bumped by people and flight attendants about 30 times, which is very uncomfortable to get woken up where you're like, boom. Oh, what's going on? I'm like, it kind of bothered me after like one of the flight attendants did it like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, you know, you've hit me like 4 times. You know what's going on. But anyways, no more aisle seats. But we land, we meet up with Zan's team, and it's Friday. Like we got there Friday morning, and we
Mhm.
got to go to the venue that day. So we get like all settled in. We get some food, and then we head to the venue. We had a hard time finding it because it was like up in some ballroom in this like giant area, but we were able to find it. It's a very small room for Friday. I appreciate that they did Friday events. That was cool. But they also did best of one again. So it was best of one constructed. This is an important day for my tournament because I was between playing dogs and purple steel. So I said, all right, I hate the purple steel matchup with dogs. I just don't really feel like I can game it that well, especially in a best of one. So I brought dogs, and there was only 3 matches because it was really short. It was like short night because they started at like 6 p.m. for their constructed.
The DLC's constructed tournament was only 3 rounds starting at 6
No, no,
p.m.
no. Friday
This is
side event
Friday
constructed.
side event one.
Right. But even that, it was 3 rounds starting at 6 p.m.
Yeah. So the size
wow.
of the room that we were in was maybe 2 or 3 times as big as this room.
Okay, we're in
It
a
was-
small room for reference.
It's tiny. You've got like somewhere between 50 to 100 people like crammed into this little room. They're doing pack rush. They did I think a sealed, and then and maybe a few other events in the constructed event. So it was really, really tight for Friday. This was not the big ballroom. I think it's because they added it on. They just got like a small little room for this. Well, I went 1-2. I lost to 1 Cobra on the top. Like the only answer he could have is if he top decked a Cobra. He top decked a Cobra, so that's fine. But it was a good learn. I was like, okay, I don't think I can play this, so let's do purple steel.
Right.
Which most of the team was already on purple steel. And I think Zan's version had like a good edge. We love the book, right? The book makes, I think, a really, really big difference once you get into those like grindier mid games. Once you get past the like 1, 2, 3 thing, your strength, it's like you get into Demonas, and books, I think, really matter.
And the book was in the version that made the finals in the hands of one of Zan's teammates, right?
Yep, playing Blurple with Woodchuck guy.
Yes, yeah, that was on Blurple. But yes, I think
I
think
thought Blurple was what won.
no, that was the teammate was on Blurple.
Oh, okay, great. But Denizen was playing the
Desmond
Woodchuck
was
guy
playing Purple Steel. He top forward with Woodchuck guy.
Great. So that's a list that you can go find,
and
everybody.
Their top 4, because it was they had multiple team kills basically through all the top 8. It was like top 8 team kill, top 4 team kill, and then
Unfortunate.
Yeah, that's okay. Honestly, because they got so many people into Top Cut, it was gonna happen.
Sure.
I think it was 3 in the top 16, which was relevant to get qualified for nationals. But yeah, I think the book is incredible. I think it gives you that little extra, like, as you're going deeper into your deck, it lets you get past all those worst draws. Top decking your 1 drops, it's like, all right, I can dig 2 deeper to go for different plays.
Want to hear about your day. I will say, from a spectator's perspective, very hard to watch this.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it was hard. What made it
Yeah.
like? It was because it's best of one, right?
It was best of one, so you'd have like 12 minutes of game action.
There also didn't seem to be a lot of backup games.
No backup games.
So
Yeah.
12 minutes of game action, and then the next round was going to start in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So the stream, I mean, I can do the shout out. I know that I've said his name like and beaten it to death. JDZ Quest did like a watch along stream that was what I had to switch to because that guy can vamp.
He can feel some time.
That guy can vamp for 40
absolutely.
minutes.
Yeah.
And I really recommend that stream. If they do another one of these, I'd watch JDZ's over the official one because it was just like they'd be like, all right, we'll be back in, and it would say like 20 minutes, and then when that timer went all the way down, it would like go back up to 20 minutes, start going down. I was like, buddy, I planned my day around this. You know what I mean? Like that's insane that you're gonna get me with another.
It was
20
also
minutes.
super late at night here, so if there's that much downtime, I'm out. I fell asleep multiple times watching this stream.
Do you think it'd be better if they're trying? Depends on the audience that they're trying to reach, but like they could instead just delay the stream by a lot and just put it all really sequentially so there's no downtime, does it like hurt? Because it's not like you're losing that big of an audience if it's that late here. You can just do it the next day.
Packaging it as a watchable thing as opposed to an unwatchable thing, I think would have been a good idea. You could have even synced it up to where there's like a 6-hour delay at the beginning, and by the time the top 8 starts, you're caught up, and then you live do the top 8.
And that's where they were in best of 3 at that point.
Yeah, and that would have been
now it's
that's a lot.
watchable.
Yeah, now you don't have as much dead time. Okay, so my tournament, I bring Purple Steel.
right. With Junior Woodchuck's guidebook.
Yes, that's I think the big notable card. I think we're on 3 Demona instead of 4.
Shimona.
Which we probably would increase that to 4. I feel like Demona is like a really, really big card.
What do you mean it's a big card?
Generally the same size as all the other cards,
Well, it's a 5/6,
but it costs 6.
but it costs 6.
5/6 is one of the bigger guys, and
But it doesn't untap.
Sometimes. Well, Demona into Demona, that's like the best counterplay to Demona and your Lexingtons.
I was
to
having a
Demona.
test game against Ryan where he demoned me. My board was 2 Lexingtons and a Demona, and I was like, "Well, I got no board next turn. They're all sleeping."
Yeah, it's absolutely brutal. Okay, so the tournament, best of 1. Obviously, best of 1 is pretty tough, but I will say, and that there was kind of a consensus a little bit on this. Best of 1 here would be awful because of the die roll mattering so much. But because this was a smaller DLC and then there were a lot less experienced players, I won games that I should not have won on the draw. Because we had, so just to give you guys reference, both Zan and I started 3-0. So we're sitting hot. We're looking at, you're trying to get to that like 5-1-1 is kind of like your goal to try to make it to the top 64. This event is, I think, somewhere between 300 and 400 players. So top 64 is very kind of achievable at that. So we start 3-0. Round 1, I played against, on the draw, the Mirror. They were on the aggressive. So they started like with a Timothy into a Tinkerbell. And honestly, I should have lost this game. But there were just some trades and some different things that they like offered me that I was able to be like, all right, I'll turn your clock off. And then now I've got like the better bodies. And you were aggressive. He got to like 14 lore. So like if things had sequenced at the end, he might have actually been able to Cobra or different things. But he started turning his small bodies into my big bodies. I was like, all right. And so then I was able to turn the clock on and finish it out. And then I played 2 more rounds, and then we get into our 4th round. This is the round I kind of want to talk about, and I think this is a really important one. To play against Blue Steel. Blue Steel on the draw can be very tight. I played against Zan, lost best of 3, right? So there's this like, you got to know when to turn sideways and accelerate. I think I've kind of like figured that out at this point. They had the perfect curve. They kind of, I don't think they had a 1-drop, and then Tipo into Cindy into a Tinkerbell, into a Goliath. So they have no cards in hand. So it's like pretty tough. This is where we can talk about how a tournament sets up. Sometimes you have to have like opportunity, and this is where like I don't want to get choked up. But like, I had an opportunity to probably go 4-0, and you've only got, this is best of 1, so there's 0 margin for error. I forgot about Goliath's effect.
Forgot about big Goliath's effect.
Not the, oh, if I have empty hand, I have to.
You forgot
Draw
about
2.
Stone by Day.
No, it's the second part of the draw 2. You
At
have
the
to
end of each of your
discard
turn, yeah.
down to 2.
So you like passed, and he was like, "What are you getting rid of?" And you were like, "What the scallops?"
So how the play went is I've got a good setup. I think I have one character, I have a Genie, Hades, and Demona in hand. So I play the Hades.
Right, and he's like, "You draw 2."
I'm like, oh cool, I'll draw my 2. And then I pass, and she's like, She starts to ready for her turn. She's like, "Oh, how many cards do you have in hand?" Because I was kind of like, holding
You're
my
like,
cards.
4, what's up?
I was like, "What's up, 4?" And then I had to discard down to 2.
You basically got no benefit off of Hades whatsoever.
No benefit off of Hades whatsoever. And I kind of tilted a little bit and like quickly threw cards down just because like I felt dumb, felt stupid. One of those cards being the Demona, which is
Probably not the one you wanted to ditch.
super relevant.
Very good against Goliath.
Freezes him.
Yeah, it's just like so basically the game is like a little scrappy, but like I threw the game right there. Like the rest of the game at that point doesn't matter. And if I had just played a genie, or even if I played the Hades and just pitched I end up getting another genie and the 2 cards plus another character. I just pitch my 2 genies, have a Demona, an Inkable in hand, and then fight for board. They did have Hades, and it was like it was still going to be a scrappy game at that point. I was still pretty behind, but that was like an opportunity to be 4-0 in this tournament, and basically pretty close to like locked. I feel like if I could have made top cut in 3 games.
So this is an interesting type of error because there's different types of errors that you make when you play strategy card games, right? You can make a strategic error where you like do the wrong thing, as in like, oh, I traded a character, but I was on the beatdown, so I should have quested to make him traded. This is a different type of error. This is like you didn't realize an effect of a card.
I forgot it, and which was just it's like critical, right? It's like that's the super punish. Like if you're playing against discard or different decks, it's like you forget an effect and then you get punished by it. It's like
Yeah,
really bad.
basically all the decisions you're making should have been going through the Goliath filter, but none of them were going through the Goliath.
So there's a couple different types of errors in trading card games. There's strategic errors, there's dexterity errors. What you made is an awareness error. There's like a thing going on that you weren't aware of, and it like came and punched you. Even though we allow takebacks in Lorcana, the awareness errors can still get you for sure. Awareness errors are, of course, something that I've talked to you about a lot. I think it's your biggest hole in your game. So it's wild that this happened so I think that the valuable thing for our podcast, the viewers, is like we could speculate on like how do you fix awareness errors, because they don't happen to me very often. They maybe did when I started, but I've been playing card games for 15, 16 years. But our advice can't just be like, well, you should studiously apply yourself to card games for 16 years. People are going to be like, that's bad advice. How do I fix my awareness errors? Ryan, do you have any speculation on this? It's hard for me because I got over the hill the hard way.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the easiest things is don't do the same thing twice.
Yeah,
right? It's like
never
you've
forget
learned the
Goliath.
Goliath lesson,
Yeah.
obviously, and it's rep by rep, right? The more reps you get, the more times you make that dumb mistake. You weren't on stream, so that's good.
Yeah.
I've done stupid stuff like that on stream, and I'm definitely not gonna forget those, right? So
It might also be true that like practicing mindfulness is like a good, like in your everyday life, trying to just be like, oh, and also like playing high stakes a lot so that every game you play feels as calm as like the living room test game, where I think those errors are less likely to occur. Just stuff you can do to work on that. And like, sorry that happened to you. It's very common among trading card game players to like lose to an awareness error. Dexterity error, of course, being like, oh, I tried to draw a card, but it flipped the top part off, and then a judge call, and I got a warning, et cetera, et cetera. Or one that happened against Zan in Singapore. He was playing an opponent. His opponent was pile shuffling. As he was pile shuffling, one of the cards flipped, and it's green, yellow, tramp. And the opponent's like, oh, sorry. And Zan is just like, because then your whole perception of what's going on is like narrowed in and focused up. That's a dexterity error.
that's a tough one.
Awareness errors are tough, and they're going to get you a lot. They can also like happen with like missed triggers and stuff like that. Just don't make the same mistake twice. Try to fix that moving forward. I've often told you like slow down and like verify your assumptions about what's going on. Make sure you're correct about stuff. So anyway, sorry to hear that happened for you. That was round 4.
So it's round 4. Yeah. Then
So
we
you're
go
3-1.
We're gonna go 3-1. All right. Slight pivot into you're talking about dexterity errors, talking about errors in general. I want to like at least talk a little bit about like the tournament itself, and then we'll get back to my run, which is not dead, folks. It's not dead yet.
3-1 is still live.
3-1 is still alive.
He just has to win his next 2 and then draw.
Spoiler alert, I did win the next one. The tournament, there were a decent bit of judge calls. So we're there with a large group, over like 10, I think. And across there were different judge calls. Zan had one where his opponent, I can't remember if they're on the player draw, but basically they get to turn 4. Plays a Cindy. They're, I think, on blue steel. And he's like palming his cards. And then after this Cindy, he plays it down. He fans it out, and he has one extra card in hand. Dan calls a judge. And Zen had kind of been paying attention to like cards on turn 1, cards on turn 2, and then I think on turn 2 is where he started to palm it. He wasn't sure. He kind of had like a vibe, and then that was the turn that he saw him fan it out. He was able to confirm. The judge call, I'm trying to remember exactly. All the judge calls that I can remember were pretty wild. Honestly, this is very similar, I would say, to Australia, in that there just wasn't like a large depth of the judging here, and they were very, very lenient. But I think they lean towards lenience because it's a 1-game format. What happens if you get a game loss?
Match loss. They conflate.
There are no game losses.
There are no game losses in Lorcana.
So that means you either have to choose a side, right? Is every penalty like a huge escalation to a match loss? Or is it like we're going to be really soft and not judge really hard? And I think that's kind of where they lean towards in general. This specific one, it kept going back and forth. Zan did talk with the judges and go back and forth. People start gathering around. I think it was just going to be a warning. They hadn't even got to the point of like making his opponent put the card back. They're going back and forth, but eventually, actually, the opponent just conceded the game to Zan because more people had started coming around and stuff, and so that was tough. In the sense of like, we don't want it to have to deal with all this, but this is like one of many judge calls. Here's another one. This happened in I think top 32 or top 16 against another one of Zan's teammates. People are using their oh, by the way, in this, they let people use their phones.
Nice. You can research like how to beat your opponent.
As a lore tracker.
As a lore tracker. All right, this is just a PSA for everybody. Don't use phones even if they allow you to use phones. Because what's the classic thing? Somebody has a phone, somebody has a piece of paper.
Discrepancy.
You're gonna go with the piece of paper.
You always have to go with the piece of paper. This turns into a 30-minute long, or I say 20-minute long judge call.
Sure.
Because his opponent was fighting so hard. And it basically come back down to like, I think his opponent was trying to argue about like 3 turns earlier. He had challenged in with a character, and there was a Chromacon on board, and he bounces his genie. He should have quested with his genie that turn, but he didn't. And so he was trying to like go back to that point or something. But anyways, 20-minute long judge call, and they only give him like 5 extra minutes. But I'm telling you, his opponent went deep into like the arguing with the judges. It was like, I couldn't understand what they were saying, but
shouldn't really even be allowed to do that. Once a judge makes the ruling, you can appeal it, and then that's the end of that. Or you can.
Yeah, the judges were not being like super stern.
I'm just saying, arguing with the judge is something that has always really irritated me, especially because I feel like my opponents get a lot of leeway to do it, and I have 0. You know what I mean? If I'm ever like, oh, but don't you think they're like, do you need to appeal? And I'm like, you're right, I should appeal, because that's your 2 options. When a judge gives a ruling, you can accept the ruling or appeal the ruling. What to me is like intolerable. Maybe one of the things that makes me so like more upset than anything else in a tournament is when someone's like, well, don't you think it, like, what about all this? Haven't you considered all this? I'm like, buddy, you don't get, we're done with the talking part. It'd be like if that happened. I mean, the judge system is modeled after like the legal system and like courts. So what if a judge was like guilty and the guy was like, well, but what about this? It's like the trial is over now.
It's done. The evidence has been presented.
The verdict has been presented. And so now what are you going to do with that verdict? But what we're not going to do is sit there and argue with a judge. I think arguing with a judge should have its own like penalty attached to it. I mean, truly, I think it's just like, oh, you're going to do even like teacher style. Back talk? How about 2 weeks? 3 weeks? I can go all day, mister. Dang it. Caught it. I knew I was gonna catch it. My bad. Okay, we're back.
No ums.
So, do you think the judge staff in general, there were fewer of them, they were less skilled? You know,
You
is
can't
it
say
the
less
first
skilled.
DLC?
I would just say
Knowledgeable.
yeah, I think that, and it's also probably the number of events they're running, right? Is in the similar way, let's say my mistake, those kind of, what did you call it?
Dexterity errors?
There's
No.
dexterity errors, awareness errors, and strategic
Awareness errors.
errors.
So these would be awareness errors, right? Is if they haven't judged enough, or they don't know the rules well enough, or are not willing to enforce them hard enough, I think you just get better and better at it over time. I think the event was decently well run. They just need to be stricter and more hard on the rules to make sure that the game is played with fair equity.
Let's get back to your round.
All right, last one. One more judge thing, and then we're done.
It better be really.
This
worth
one I
talking
didn't
about.
Better be
really.
spicy.
All right, so 2 cards in hand.
Nope, you're out. I'm disqualified. You.
No more ums. No more ums. 2 cards in hand.
Dog.
I apologize, everyone.
You did just get back from a 24-hour flight.
2 cards in hand. I'm trying not to say it now. 2 cards in hand. The teammate passes turn, and he looks up, and now his opponent has 7 cards in hand.
So he +5. Dang that! So when I started to learn how to play Magic the Gathering at my local game store, that was the type of stuff that happened. There was a card called Ponder that let you look at the top 3. You could put them in any order, put them back, and then draw 1. But if you looked away while they were resolving it, they were +3. How did a +5 happen?
Saying second star.
They switched their inkwell with their hand.
Ah, got 'em.
So, what should be the punishment for?
Game's over. Game's over.
We don't. That's not how we do it
Yeah,
in
that-
Lorcana.
You can't look at your
No.
inkwell.
That is, in my opinion, like something that should be implemented in Lorcana. But right now, we don't have game losses as a result of like stuff like that in Lorcana. So we have game losses for deck check errors.
What was the decision?
Yeah, I think it was just. I don't know if there was anything more than a warning with anything. People were drawing extra cards. They were.
Try not to switch your inkwell with your hand.
They were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know
Put those back
that."
down and get your actual hand back. Yeah.
Okay,
nice try, Mister. How about that? How
So-
about a nice try, Mister?
round 5, and I had already faced another red purple, and I faced another red purple. Those matches can be very scrappy, but again, I think this is one of those situations where it's like I'm on the draw, and I should not win, but like because red purple can go back and forth, but if they make functional errors, we're in the combat area. That's where I'm gonna get my equity back. And that's what ended up happening, where it was just like little bits of value where they're starting to challenge in my stuff, where I'm able to get good trades, is where I was able to come back. All right, so now we're 4-1.
Yay!
Great.
All you
You're
have
doing
to
it.
do.
One more win.
I bet you're thinking now. All I have to do is win one more round.
One more round.
Well, that's not how you should be thinking. You should be thinking this is the same as round 1, and I should walk the path spiritually.
Give me another goon. Send me another red purple goon.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking, and then I sit across from Ed.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you, the best player in the world. It's not named Zan Syed.
And I was actually really excited. I was like, all right, here's my opportunity to like
Ooh, yeah.
let's have like a good match.
Oh, absolutely! Let this be our battlefield.
This is a level up for you. You just
exact-
take him down.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm on the draw. Not great, best of 1. And he is on green blue.
Yep.
Okay. He goes. So I have my curve.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4. No strength. But I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good with my hand after post mulligan. Turn 1, he develops. Turn 2, he T-pose.
Sure.
Turn 3, he Cindy's. Hey, so it's looking like pretty good. Oh, and by the way, he kept 7.
It's tough.
If you want to know the best thing you can do in green blue, it'd be this curve right here. The next turn, he plays a 1-drop Clarabelle, shifts Clarabelle, and sings "Or You're Welcome" and draws 5 cards.
Mm-hmm. So the green blue nuts, basically.
Pretty good.
And then next turn he plays a Basil, bounces, and draws 4 cards.
I think it's Basel.
So
You didn't win that game.
He was up 9 cards by turn 5, and yeah, that was. I was like the only strategy against that would be if I had like a bunch of 1 and 2 drops, and I just keep like dumping my hand, but I drew 3 Elsas and 2 Demonas.
Your deck isn't really configured to have a bunch of 1 and 2 drops. Even the cards like Junior Woodchuck's Guidebook can really hinder you in like defeating this type of game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that overall you're favored though. So this is a situation where a best of 3, there would have been a really different result. He like hit the max nuts in green blue. Was he on the play or the draw?
He was on the play.
Right. So he hit the max nuts on the play. That's like fine in a match. That can happen. So you'll take next game on the play, and then you have a regular game. 3 is like the plan in a best of 3, but we don't get that opportunity in a best of 1. You hit the max nuts on the play, you get to win the match.
Especially in a historically inconsistent deck. I mean,
Yeah,
he could easily have had to ship 7, right? You know,
Yeah.
So
and that's what happened. Okay, so now we're going to the last round.
Are you still live?
I'm still alive. The bubble is 5-2.
So you're live for the bubble.
you could
Yes.
get the bubble. Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let's just like lock in, do this last one. My final round opponent is also playing green blue, but they're on the detectives version. Which could be the bodies can be a little bit trickier. I can't remember if I was on the play or draw. This game is actually pretty close. I felt like I have good equity into like the board. When they're going like 3-3 on 4, and I've got like bigger bodies. But then they were able to get into double Basil 7-drop.
Okay.
And I've only got Hades in my hand. Which
gonna be tough.
effectively is a push, because they're just going to give me 2 cards, double quest. So it was really, really close. If I had gotten a Demona or like a Zeus just to like fight for board a little bit, I think I could have like turned it. It was pretty close. It was super nice. And then that was the cut at 5-2. We had for Zan's team, there were I think 4 or 5 people on the 5-2 bubble, and like 4 of them made. So
Great. That's the problem with the Punisher cards, by the way. They're never going to be exactly what you need them to be. They're always going to be, there's going to be spots where there's good. We've all obviously seen spots where Legendary Hades is very good, but when you need to get something off the board, he can't do it. And when you need to draw cards, he also can't do it.
Yep.
yeah, he was definitely.
I don't like Punisher cards. I mean, I like legitimately, I don't like them like as a rule, basically, you know, and I think that Hades is like the best one that I've seen in a long time. I play a ton of different cards, so I've like seen 100 of them. It's the best one that I've seen in a long time, and there are definitely times when it's pretty good. He's good on curve. Even good a little bit after the curve. I think the later the game goes, the more likely you are to play Hades, and your opponent will be like, oh.
Just draw 2 cards, whatever.
Or like, oh, okay, and then put their thing on the bottom. I still have lethal. Are you know, like,
We
are
good
you
here?
done? And you're like, well, I was looking for more outs, and they're like, yeah, I bet. That's cool.
Yeah, I would say over the weekend, he was the one card that performed the least for me. He's also really bad into Goliath, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
So-
Well, that's the thing about
that's
Punisher cards is if your opponent can ever take advantage of one of those, it's like, well, now you can't play any of this card in the whole match. I don't like Punisher card very much. I think Hades is a little overrated. Zan is always fighting me on that.
Can't fight you here.
I kind of like him because there is the skill thing. Like I got punished by my own play with Hades, but that also is a skill thing. Where I, not in this later match, but the earlier one with Goliath is there's something I should have just inked it and played a different card.
Let's do a quick metagame report.
Okay, so at least for Singapore, giving you guys a little bit of like what we saw there. A lot of purple steel, naturally. A lot of red purple, actually.
Like the trendy deck of the week. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it honestly plays really well. It's a lot of fun. Even in the games that I played against it, like I find that the purple steel versus red purple is actually kind of an enjoyable match. Not that I like from either side. I actually feel like you're playing a lot of Lorcana in those games, rather than it feeling like it's very one way or the other. It feels like it can kind of be like tight.
Sounds like when like a a varsity sports team loses and the coach is like, there's a lot of game to be had out there. Both players, great hustle. And yeah, a lot of stuff happened. Some trades maybe didn't go our way. We'll get back out there next season, do our best. You know the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you hitting me?
What do you
Slapped you
mean?
on the butt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they
Good,
slap
good
butts.
locker room butt slap.
Good game.
Good games, definitely. Yeah, but anyway, sounds like that. When red, purple, and purple steel get together, it is a junior varsity football game out there.
Mm-hmm.
Crappy.
So
Lots of fumbles.
for best of one, I feel like the obvious best call definitely is just purple steel. It's just consistent and it can win on the player drop. You do your nice curve. It also performed very well. I don't know to all the percentages, but 3 of the top 8. I mean, 3 of the top 4. And then maybe more, it was like 5 of the top 8 or something. It performed very well.
But Nathan, Blurple won.
And Nathan, Purple did win. And it
Twice.
traditionally had a good matchup against Purple Steel. How does this factor in?
I think depends on the version you're on. I think the version of Purple Steel with Guidebook favored. Actually.
That's the difference.
Notably though, it did lose in top 4 to the team kill. We all talked about it a little bit afterward. Like it was a close match. If certain things here or there went one way or the other, or some decisions were made maybe different, Purple still could have took down the whole thing. But I think that Blurple is just good in terms of like high end value. If you can make it to that point, Purple Steel doesn't do the thing, then it kind of opens up, and that's where the book kind of helps Purple Steel to kind of get to more once you get into that grindy later game.
All right. Great.
Interesting.
Let's
The
talk
other
about-
big winner on the weekend at the Wakefield TCQ that wasn't Blurple was Blue Steel.
Blue Steel had
I
a
watched
banner
a little
weekend.
bit of that.
Yeah.
I liked it.
You've got a lot of Blue Steel Colt buddies.
I have a lot of friends in the Blue Steel cult. They're extremely happy right now. Their deck's doing really good. Another winner from the weekend was Habibi. Lorcana Habibi won the Wonderland charity tournament that was commentated by Katie, JDZ, and Lorcana Villain. That was a lot of fun to watch. Is there room
Who did
for
Habibi won with?
Got to be Chroma Dogs.
How about them dogs? He had yellow and green all the way through. And I feel like there is room for yellow green to sort of punch a hole through everything. I feel like the purple steel matchup is not as bad as it once was. You have a little more experience with that. But I feel like if they're adding Junior Woodchuck Guidebook, they want to see Lady 03 that quests for 3 less and less and less as they add more and more of those cards.
The greedier into card draw that Purple Steel goes, Dogs becomes a worse matchup.
And that's a matchup where, by the way, 5-cost Hades also looks like a dog water card. They're just like, you draw. And you're like, well, don't you care that I'm gaining an increment? They're like, I'm at 15. You're like, okay, well.
You can't give your opponent decisions like that.
Yeah, do whatever you want, man. You can draw 10 cards if you want to. Because they just know that they have it locked up.
If we're playing Hades on 5, we're
I think so. I
Yeah.
think there's plenty of times where Hades is a strong answer. I'm an anti-Hades Club guy.
Ooh, you should get a T-shirt for that.
Yeah, we should start selling T-shirts. We could be like a Ross Dress for Less, but
pretty sure
with
we
our
gave you that
merch.
job like weeks ago.
No, that was months.
It was
Then
months.
you got another job.
I got another job. True
Speaking
enough.
of, we've
yeah.
been spending way too much time.
Yeah, me and Ryan. So I needed a job really bad. I got a job at Ryan's restaurant, which if you know what it is, keep it a secret because I don't want to tell anybody what the job is. But I've been working a lot at Ryan's restaurant. We have a sales contest.
Crushing it.
I'm winning by a lot. I have 115 or something more sales than second place. I'm in first place.
Next guy's not catching it ever in a million years.
Yeah.
That's really impressive to have sold that many more. What's keeping you going at this point?
Well, I have a stretch goal, which is I want to beat everybody else on the team combined. Because in a way, it's like,
Oh my goodness!
because in a way, it's like I beat Ryan's whole team.
Meanwhile, Ryan wins in this whole scenario.
Yeah, it's fine that you win, but I
it's
also
a
beat
win.
you.
It's a
Yes.
win-win.
It is a bit
We
of a
all get
win-win.
what we want in this situation.
So that's my stretch goal. I don't really typically ever allow myself to do sales because I think sales is like unethical and weird and also like bizarrely intimate, which is what makes it so unethical.
Weirdly good at it.
He doesn't like the power that it gives him over people.
It really is a bit of a trip sometimes where like people will say something to me and I'm like, oh no, I'm like totally, they're in a malleable and even like vulnerable state. I think the society we live in leads people to feel so invisible all the time. And so when you make them feel seen and validated, they're like willing to give you whatever. And then you hit them with the thing they want you to buy. And then they like do it. And after that, I'm like, am I like the worst person that's ever lived? My dad, by the way, was a car salesman. He had a similar set of skills as me.
Mm-hmm.
And he like was almost suicidal. He had to like leave the country. He had to give up on America and he like went back to Costa Rica and he lives there now. He didn't sell anybody anything because it's like feels weird. It hurts.
You don't have to sell anymore.
I already had that breakdown. I like texted Brian at like 2
Oh.
a.m. one morning or 4 a.m. one morning. I was like, I've been having nightmares about this. I'm like tossing and turning. I can't sleep anymore. I have to not sell anymore.
Oh my goodness.
And then I was like, and he was like, you're fine. And
Rub some dirt on
I
it.
talked to Zan about it. And he was like, just have fun and do it. You never let yourself do it. So I like turned on the sales monster.
Mm.
And now I've been doing that.
But you're bringing people the thing you're selling, which we won't say specifically. That might
Joy.
is it's something that people enjoy.
Peppermint milkshakes. They're fine with them.
They're good. They're good.
They're good. They're fine. People, I don't know. I don't ever tell anybody that they're good. I do a different
The
thing when I
peppermint
do sales.
coffee.
That's what he
Awful.
sells the most of. Whoa. The hot one? Yeah, don't order the hot one. You always get the frosted.
like
the
peppermint
frosted-
coffee
He
with
can't have
all-
the milk. So
Ooh,
he
the
had to
ice
get
one's
the
really
ice.
good.
He had to
Yeah,
get the
get
ice
outta
without milk.
here.
The peppermint coffee with just coffee and the peppermint syrup. I literally took a sip and I had to spit it out.
All right. We're not going to get deep into this.
We can.
Just get the ice.
Anyway, so the long story short, I spend every day basically looking at Ryan all day, and then we test cards afterwards.
It's a lot.
Okay, so you guys have been testing.
Yeah,
So you-
definitely.
Yeah, we're getting ready for CCS.
Oh.
Getting ready for the upcoming CCS coming up this weekend. It's we're trying to get invited to the end of the year invitational. I'm
You're
already invited,
Already invited.
but I'm also missing Saturday. So
Ooh.
Are you gonna?
So here's a good one. So you're not playing Saturday.
yeah,
If you were gonna play, what do you think would be the best, deck to bring?
blue yellow item aggro with Ink Runner and
Yeah.
Mowgli
Mowgli.
and Ludwig von Drake. Get into their hand. Don't let them have anything.
Mowgli kind of slaps.
And Ludwig. He's even better. You get to choose. Do you get to choose with Ludwig?
Oh yeah,
So
you
you get
used to
better
always
Mowgli.
get to choose. Yeah, you get to choose. You get to pick one. Can't lose the blue green. Can't beat anything else. A good spread in my opinion.
Okay. Everybody bring that.
So everybody bring blue yellow item aggro. Deck that I've championed since set 1. Never really ever has items in it. But that's
Well,
okay.
it does now with Ink Runner.
I honestly think I would probably play purple red. I
I knew that was what you.
I like that gameplay mechanic. I like putting people in the game of Lorcana. I think it really favors being on the front foot. So when you're having somebody react to you, you're going to win the majority of those games over time. So like a situation where you have a bunch of 2-questers on a library is just like way better in my opinion than a situation where like you're hoping to draw a removal spell or you're hoping to get the Philip combo together. I think the library is even like especially resilient against things like Philip combo. So purple red to me is like the type of gameplay that I feel like I'm pretty good at. I kind of want to like get them under my like hand and be like, I know you don't have it. There's no blocking or lifelink in this game, so you're not gonna come back. There's not really a comeback mechanic in Lorcana. They can spooky sight, they can Prince Philip me, or they can perish. And then if I'm scrapping against purple steel, that also I feel like is a spot where I'm really good. I mean, you guys saw me on camera basically last time playing against something really similar, and I have good horseman chains. You have a lot of play. I really like the card Hercules. It's interesting to me that it's a one of, but I feel like that
Mhm.
card is really
I actually am. If I love purple red, but I think Hercules is a little too easy to answer. So like even in I played against it twice, best of one, won both games on the draw, and I feel like it came down to it came down to a lot of scrappiness, but it was Hercules, and I'm like okay, and then I would play either a Demona or a Elsa, and then kill him with any of my 1-drops.
You think that Maui Shark would have been a little bit better?
Maui Shark would have been impossible. What do I do against unless Maui Shark has notably 5, no answer with a Zeus. Now we have Thunderbolt,
Mhm.
which only does 4. So it's just
True.
feels like Maui Shark would either make me have to like do 2 cards
Yeah.
into him. It's just so much more value.
I like Hercules because doesn't it have a Wrath combo with the Next Stop Olympus, et cetera, et cetera? But I guess I don't need it that bad.
If all of their characters are exerted, but then at that point, like
Oh, but you play Demona, and then all their characters are exerted.
Hercules.
so you're playing yeah, I guess you could do that.
I like the idea of a Wrath combo in Lorcana.
A lot of cards.
3.
Yeah.
And one of them draws 2. I don't think it's a
But-
ton of cards.
But to go into Demona, you need 6. That
Yeah.
means that they've got their critical Elsa turn. And if you're on the draw, they're going to go into 6 and play the Demona first.
Yeah, but what about, we get to play Headless Horseman? I just think that's really great. Yeah, so I would probably play red, purple if it came to it. It's also,
What do you think
if
about
Blue
the
Steel has a
Gotham?
cult, red, purple has like a mainstream religion.
Oh yeah, I think
People
that
love-
I think that it's absolutely great. And Zan and I talked about it. It was actually in contention for Singapore because it's just a good deck to be able to fight with, right?
And then honestly, just to make this podcast more controversial, if Blue Steel is Mormonism, then red, purple is, non-denominational big, what's mega church Christianity. Joel Osteen. Thoughts?
Righteous Gemstones.
Righteous Gemstones. Absolutely. Red, purple.
What do you think about Gothel? Before we get off of this, what do you think about the Gothel? We had a lot of discussion on the 3-drop Gothel, and Zan felt like that might be a difference maker.
You think that card's good? I hate that card.
Tell us what it does.
Okay, so we've got the Gothel. Gothel is a 3-drop 1/4, I think, quest for 1.
Yeah, the red, purple one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then whenever one of your character challenges another character, you get to move a damage counter from I think just a character to another one that your opponent controls.
Yes. I think this is actually a really skill intensive card, and it will make people go to time because there's a lot of math involved too. Notably, you can move the damage before combat damage is dealt.
Yeah.
So that's really important for when you're like swinging in with, let's say you're playing the Sisu as well. Sisu, it can be okay. Maybe run it at 2 of, 3 of. Only 1, but then you're able to either move a damage over and finish a character or challenge in and then move a damage over and it doesn't die.
It feels a little dated in a world with Cheshire Cat. I feel like Cheshire Cat does its job 10 times. Yeah, way better, and also like kind of more at will and makes things harder for your opponent. The thing about Gothel is
Mhm.
it's like kind of easy for them to like just kind of hang back for a bit and then deal with it. Or why do I think it's easier to deal with than Cheshire Cat? I guess it's a 1/4. What am I saying?
It's pretty tough for people to
Okay,
take
but
out.
when it comes to like 1-for-1s, you can tap your one big guy into a Gothel board a lot of the time. But it's harder to tap one big guy into a Cheshire Cat board because they'll just like get rid of it. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried that Cheshire Cat like eats Mother Gothel's lunch and looks a lot better in a lot of spaces.
Could
I
they
could
not
be
live,
really wrong.
Could they
about
not
that.
live together? What are the other 3-drops in that deck?
Oh man, I mean you have Sisu, which quests for 3 or quests for 2. That's pretty good.
3 is
Great question,
crazy.
Sisu.
Didn't we have another one? There's that Peter Pan that people like. I feel like I'm missing a
is that
big
evasive?
obvious one. Cheshire Cat, the main 3-drop.
Yeah, Cheshire Cat is like so important.
What you want to?
Brawl,
No.
R.I.P. Brawl.
a rip to the brawl.
All right, Ryan, what are you thinking? So we got a red purple. He's gonna bring that on Sunday.
Yeah, Purple Steel's my biggest contender for sure. I just think it's the most consistent deck by a large margin. It's really easy to curve out by your removal spell.
Junior Woodchuck guidebook or no?
I do like the idea of I haven't tested that. I think I will test Woodchuck Guidebook and see how I like it. I think it's going to be matchup dependent whether you want to play that card or not.
Very good in the mirror.
I mean, it's a resource game. Like an extra dock.
And you don't play 4 docks.
Nope, you can't play 4 docks anymore.
You just play like we were on 1.
Ooh.
1 or 2, just depends. But
Mhm.
you literally eliminate the possibility
You
of
can't
drawing
draw 2 docks if you
You've
don't
only
play
got
2 docks.
one.
Yeah. I think in Zan's first LCCC match, he played against Purple Steel, and they had 2 docks, and they drew them.
They played
Perfect
doc, yeah, they played
sequence.
doc.
Yeah.
Two characters. One was a doc, and then another.
Do you like the idea of
What religion is Purple Steel?
Catholicism?
Catholicism is what I was going to say as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely. Always around.
They got to play their 1, 2, 3 cards.
Just consistent, you know.
Yeah.
Always around, always consistent.
I'm not talking about. Zan's not here to stop us talking about Cookie Run.
I've been practicing a lot of Cookie Run because I am trying to become the national championship in Cookie Run. I haven't lost a game of Cookie Run in a really long time because
the last time we played, you lost.
that is true. I think that was the last time I lost.
That was the first time
acknowledge that.
I played with my deck. I've got a spicy, more aggressive style deck, which is not meta. It's not like I didn't net deck this. I've kind of, and I've actually got it. I'm petting a card that might make it even more aggressive. Because I'm like, if I'm leaning in, maybe I should like really lean in.
I kind of have like tried a lot of stuff with the red deck, and I've gotten back. Now my deck is like the least nonsense there's ever been. I cut Malice Sauce Cookie because I was figuring out that while it did allow you to do a lot of cool things in the early game, it's just better not to do them and not to get those points in your break area, and so that you could just like get to your bigger stuff with more leeway. So I'm kind of just playing
Malice Sauce Cookie in my deck.
Isn't there a colorless Malice Sauce Cookie? It's just red. It's the Devil Cookie. It's a 2/2 that you can pay 2 rainbow to deal 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Now we're on Devil Cookie.
Anyway, so yeah, my deck is becoming like almost more and more stock, but I think that's going to be my strength. What I want to do with this tournament is I want to play the best cards, and I want to have them in my hand
and be consistent, right? So this is a best of, similar to Singapore.
The best of one tournament.
All of Cookie Run is best of one, so consistency is really key.
I want Wild Berry Cookie when my break area is level 9, and I want to deal 8 damage to my opponent's cookie.
Oh, Wild Berry Cookie. Worst.
He's the best. That guy is my best friend, my hero. Yeah, we've only been practicing Lorcana.
Yeah, so we went to Singapore, played a lot of Lorcana, and then it sounds like there's been a lot of sweet tooths.
I've been baking. We've been baking. Actually, we've been baking. I made 1,000 macarons. Macaron.
I made for Thanksgiving a Byzantine era cheesecake. And with poppy seeds.
Simple.
It was, people loved it. It actually, I did the classic dessert Thanksgiving test where you like bring it out. Everyone's like, no. I'm totally stuffed. And I like put a plate of it in front of everybody, and they're all like, this slice is way too big. And it was all gone.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the best feeling is when you bring something and
it was gone.
It does feel good.
There was a lot of leftovers, a lot of stuff, and there was 0 leftovers of Byzantine era cheesecake by Jeremy.
That's a win.
How'd your macarons do? Didn't you make like 1,000?
I did make a lot, and I made 4 different flavors. That was the tough bit because there were 4 different cookie flavors and 4 different fillings. So I made
Why'd you do so much?
creme brulee, pumpkin spice, and salted caramel, and that involved so much work because I had to make 4 different fillings. So one was like a French meringue, a Swiss meringue, a buttercream.
Next time, are you gonna switch it up?
Do it all again.
Oh,
they were so good.
You're a hard worker.
They looked great. Ryan is a hard worker, almost as hard a worker as I am.
I would probably rank. I don't know if we had to rank all 4 of us as our work ethic. How would we rank?
Dan number 1, not close.
Really? No.
That guy will stay up.
We're not talking about Lorcana.
That guy will stay up for a week straight playing on Lorcanito until he's number 1, and then be like, I figured out the format. And none of us have what it takes.
That is true.
If you take out Lorcana.
No, but think about what that means. He puts aside the rest of his life, and things are not as important as that.
Very.
So take whatever your number 1 thing is, and could you sacrifice everything else for it? And like for me, no.
I'm number 4. I'm like I try.
You're not even going to be a part of this conversation.
We all know that I'm not the strongest work ethic. Yeah, that's just life.
Well, we got the top and the bottom figured.
Yeah, top and the bottom figured out. I think between you and me, it's tough. And there's definitely different situations where I think
I wake up at 5 a.m. every day to go.
Wait, to go work out. I wake up 5 a.m. every day to go to work.
I don't know.
Wow, it must be nice.
You just started this experiment.
Must be nice to go work out. I wish I could, but I got my grind that I got to get to.
Oh,
Wow.
Speaking of grind,
Yeah.
I think so we just talked about Zan play testing a whole bunch.
yes.
And I think
Yeah.
we've talked about this in the past, but like fitting in with our normal lives, good work ethic in our normal lives. How much do you think is like if you're prepping for a CCQ or you're prepping for a Charlie's, let's say outside of DLCs, like what's the minimum you think you should be playing before going to one of these events? Like a week.
The week leading up,
Sure.
I think you want to get in at least 50 matches. Otherwise, you're not going to scratch the surface.
I think Lorcana really rewards expertise and reps. I think it like really does, especially over the course of a tournament. So the best I've done lately is I went to the last CCS. I got 4th. I lost to Tiago, who got 1st. I think that I would have won if Tiago wasn't in that room. And I think that the big difference maker is I think that if you look at the amount of reps everyone had in that room, if you ranked us all by that, Tiago was number 1. I was number 2. Tiago had me by about 200 games. I think he crushed everybody. He like came in and was like, yeah, nobody else here is even close. And I know that that's true because he and I had been talking a little bit and we had just played the week before. And we also were like, oh, we're not even close. And he was like, so I'm at like 650. And I was like, uh-oh. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's not as many as me or that's more than me. And so I think that a good way to get success in Lorcana is to bury everybody else with your work ethic. People don't want to hear that because they want to go have fun at their card game tournament and they don't want to feel buried by Tiago, who played a million more games than you. It makes the game seem so inaccessible. But when you say, like, what's the minimum you can do, to me, and then you'll probably remember talks like this from your high school sports days. Can you tell that he talks about high school sports a lot? Is
You're the only one that's brought it up.
Well, he's the only one who works with you.
right. It's a loser mentality. What's the minimum I can get away with to win? Ugh, you're already in the way wrong headspace
Don't
to
say
win this
that to
tournament.
me.
How about like I'm gonna play until I know the ins and outs and the openers of this matchup, this matchup, this matchup, and this matchup. And when I've done that and nothing my opponents do can surprise me anymore, to the point where they're like, I'm gonna Hades your genie, and you're like, yeah, you draw. Why? Well, because I just know that that's what to do. I've done it before. Enough.
Yeah, you're not
and
having
this
to
is the
make
way I win.
those decisions on the fly.
You're not making those decisions on the. You're just like based on you. Very rarely do you do decisions. You're mostly evaluating your openers versus their openers, cross-referencing it against the encyclopedia you built in your head, and you're executing those game plans. I think that's what winning a tournament. Well, like that's the way that you feel when you're winning Lorcana tournament. For me. So that's where I want to be, but I feel so bad saying that because, like, what do you mean? This is the Disney trading card game. I'm not trying to give away my whole life to do this. Honestly, a big dilemma I have.
That's tough. That's tough. I mean, I think you're on the right track there. I mean, it doesn't matter what's on the card. It's a trading card game, right? I mean, it just happens to have Disney characters on it. So, I mean, yeah, it matters if you're trying to appeal to a certain crowd if you're Ravensburger, but you're always going to have a spectrum of card game players. Some are willing to do 650 games and some just aren't.
You're gonna have a lot of card game players on the spectrum.
A lot are
That's
on
a
the
wreck.
spectrum. Shout out to Tiago. He joined the Mickey.
You're gonna have a lot of card game players on the spectrum. Shout out to Tiago
for joining the Mickey Club.
Sorry, Tiago.
Okay.
yeah,
We'll see you on Saturday.
Absolutely. See you Saturday, buddy. Sorry.
Love you, man.
Sorry, I let
I
these
like your
guys get away
sweaters.
with that one. I like your sweaters. Good Lord.
He's not going to watch this far, right?
Nobody is. We can say
No.
whatever. I've been comparing decks to religions. Righteous Gemstones got brought up. Ryan and I worked together. Brutal.
Well, I got to go get some matches in.
Okay, so we got CCS this weekend and then EPG next weekend.
Yeah,
we're,
the
we're
weekend
all, we're all
after.
playing Cookie Run.
I don't
All right.
know if Ryan, are you?
Are you coming?
I'm probably not coming.
Oh.
But
You can
I
ride
do-
with us. It's a
I
good
do
trip.
have a complete Cookie Run deck now because
And you have
I
a
want
free.
to
I
play
think
it
we have a
against
free
you guys
stay
for
set
fun.
up, right?
Yeah, basically free. I mean, it's going to cost us all like $40 to stay in a
Yeah.
10-bedroom, man. You should bring
All
Hannah
right,
Lee.
see you guys in Orlando.
You all in
Seems
Orlando.
pretty free.
All right. And if you want to find more of me, you can find me on Twitter at MoxJeremy. That's MoxJeremy. I do a space on Twitter every week. A lot of people join in. It's been a lot of fun. People really like it. Ryan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter as well, ATL Ryan Walked.
All right. And Nathan?
And then thanks to everybody who came up and chatted in Singapore. It made the trip better, especially with it kind of being a little disappointed with the result, but that made it more fun. And congrats to everybody who topped there on the team, and Jacob for taking it down. That was really cool. And you can find me on X at Nathan Tripp.
See you guys. Bye, everybody.